Hello everyone and welcome to another speed building video on my channel. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded a video, and I also know that the last few videos were also about Versailles, and this is sadly not a change of my previous videos. So I really wanted to expand my original Versailles build because I recently downloaded some beautiful custom content by the Jim07 on Mod The Sims and Felixandre on Patreon. I will put the links in the description down below if you're interested in these guys. They make the most beautiful custom content which are ideal for these kind of builds, like these palaces and castles and chateaus. So I basically wanted to revisit Versailles because first of all it's one of my favorite buildings in the world, and yeah, second of all it's kind of what actually happened in real life. So what happened is that it started as a small hunting lodge built by the Sun King's father, Louis XIII, which you saw at the beginning of the video, which was quite modest. But Louis XIV, he really liked his father's chateau, so he decided to expand it so he could eventually move his court to Versailles. So what happened is that because he wanted to keep his father's chateau, he didn't want to destroy it, he asked one of his architects, Louis Levaux, to come up with a solution to keep the integrity of the small chateau of his father whilst expanding and modernizing the chateau as well. So Louis Levaux came up with this brilliant idea of just surrounding the original chateau with a newer building, and they called it the envelope because it kind of envelopes the original building. So, and here I am actually, first of all, I deleted the things that I thought were not necessary anymore. I got rid of all the furniture, so I'm refurnishing everything in this build, which is going to be it's going to be hell. Because first of all, it was already quite a big build to start with, and second of all, it's going to be twice as big now, so it's gonna take me a long while to finish it up. Although I have to say I already started furnishing it, and the most important part, which is the first floor, is already completely furnished. The first floor is actually called the Piano Nobile, which was the main residential area for the royal family, or at least where the king and the queen had their royal apartments. So yeah, I will be adding the king's apartments, the queen's apartments, some of the inner private apartments as well. Obviously, I will also add the beautiful Hall of Mirrors, which Felixandre provided me with this beautiful custom content to make it happen. So it's always been a dream of mine to build the Chateau of Versailles in The Sims 4, and or just in general in The Sims. I already tried it in The Sims 2, then I gave it another go in The Sims 3, and I never really succeeded or was satisfied with the result. So, although I have to say that in The Sims 3, the Jim07 from Mod The Sims, he already had beautiful custom content created for the Hall of Mirrors, but in the end, it didn't fit. There was something wrong with the Hall of Mirrors. I really wanted to stay true to the original chateau, and the lot was too small. So, that meant that the Hall of Mirrors would be too small, and instead of working around my issues, I just gave up and I made Le Petit Trianon instead and added a mini version of the Hall of Mirrors there instead, which is a shame because this time the lots aren't any bigger, but I have to say that Felixandre really had the best solution. I mean, he made his custom content so it would work on the lot sizes that we have here. But that means that the Hall of Mirrors will be a bit too small compared to the original one, and yeah, there will not be a salon de paix or a salon de guerre, so which is a shame in a way, but yeah, you need to compromise, and sometimes you need to make choices. So anyway, I am working on the exterior now. This build will only, this video will only include the building. So here I am working on the roof a little bit. Almost finished the main part of the building of the envelope of Laveau, which is a garden facade. So both facades are actually still visible today in Versailles. So if you enter the chateau, it will still show the original Louis XIII hunting lodge. And the garden facade is Laveau's envelope. But it's even bigger nowadays, because it has two huge side wings as well. So here I'm adding some of the details and the columns. I will add more details because it still looks a bit plain, and it's actually quite detailed. It's actually quite beautiful, the chateau. And I have to say that I think I did quite a good job to at least make it feel like it looks a bit like the original chateau. The thing for me that's most important when I try doing these builds is to add as much detail as possible, because especially in the Baroque period, Renaissance, Rococo, those builds were very detailed, very beautiful, very rich. So that's my main goal, to try to capture that spirit of that era. I know some of you people will probably be wondering why I don't have a garden, because Versailles is also known for their gardens, but as you can see, there's just no room. I'm building the garden facade right now, and yeah, I don't have any room left. So I finished one side, and I don't think I'll show you the other sides, because it's basically the same thing. I think we will jump at the front right now. There we go. So I just decided not to cut the video a little short, otherwise it would take way too long. So now we're going to refurbish the front of the chateau. Getting rid of the old structures that I build. And here I am building some inner courtyards. As you can see, there are still some objects left from the original build. I will eventually get rid of all of them, but not yet. It's already looking a bit different from what I originally came up with. My first goal of my first original build was to be as accurate as possible with the limitations of The Sims 4, as in I didn't want to use any custom content. I also didn't really have good custom content anyway, but now I went all the way with custom content and tried to be as accurate as possible, although I guess there are still some creative liberties that I took that I thought were aesthetically more pleasing, or yeah, that made more sense in The Sims 4, or just to be honest, because it got a bit tedious after a while to add all these little small details, like these little statues and vases, and you'll see me working on them in a bit. So after a while I just got sick of that too, so that might have been one of the reasons why I gave up on them too. So those windows actually open up to Louis XIV's state bedroom, or chambre de parade, which was one of his latest additions before he died, and he actually died in that bedroom as well. Already using a lot of the custom content, like these windows. The sandstone of the new château is also custom content. Just fooling around with the windows. So Louis XIV not only expanded the original hunting lodge, he also renewed some of the old hunting lodge. He added more details, is what I'm trying to say. Like, these columns were originally not there, these balconies weren't there, so the chateau looked quite different during Louis XIII's, when it was still just a hunting lodge from his father. It's not like he changed a lot, but he definitely added more details, more gold, and all that good stuff, all the blinking. There are some things that I'll be doing off camera, because I thought that you guys might not want to see it, because it might take too long. Like this small pavilion here up front, I will make it a bit smaller, a bit narrower, so it works a bit better with the new chateau, the Château Neuf. I will also change the marble courtyard. Here I quickly added this floor, so if if you lower the walls, those little balconies in front of the window, they wouldn't still be visible. Otherwise they'd be floating. if you lower the walls. So I'm doing the same here. For some reason, they would click automatically to the bottom wall, except if I use these that floor. That solved that issue for me. So this side of the palace is also known as the Parisian side. And then you have the garden side or garden facade. So Louis XIV wasn't too keen on Paris. He preferred his little hunting lodge, or his little chateau here in Versailles, where he really enjoyed hunting as well. And that's why he decided to move his whole court to this tiny little swampy area, which in the end became one of the most famous and beautiful chateaus in the world. So just fixing up the roof a little bit. It already looks a lot different from what it started as actually. And I have to say, I already said it, that I'm actually really happy with the result. So the same goes for this, is that I try to add as much detail as possible, because the original chateau is also quite detailed. If you would be interested in downloading this custom content, I also tested it. It works, even with the latest update it still works. And you can just use it. My game runs fine with this custom content, so it's always nice to know. So here I'm clearly working on those bits that I mentioned before that got a little tedious after a while, because you keep on repeating the same thing over and over and over again. But these things make a difference in the end. It does make it look and feel more authentic to the original build. So I will be changing the marble courtyard as well. I looked at the pattern of the original one in Versailles and changed it completely. The thing is that it looks, the pattern is now exactly the same as it is in Versailles, but it's bigger because I had to do it by hand. I did it completely by hand. But yeah, the thing is that I couldn't make it as small and detailed as it is in the original Versailles, but it is the same pattern, so I'm actually quite proud with what I came up with. So anyway guys, in a few moments we will go to the screenshots. I want to thank you all to to watch this video. I hope you really liked it, and if you do, please do like, subscribe, and comment down below. Part 2 will be up as soon as possible, but as you can tell, I still have a lot of work to do. There's still a lot of furnishing to be done. Anyway, I wish you a lovely day, a lovely weekend, and see you next time. Bye!